Hey guys, Chris here. What I'll be doing for you today is doing a short playthrough video and lesson of how to play the song Wishmaster by the band Nightwish. So to start off, the song is played on a guitar tuned in standard E tuning. Really simple. The intro of the song sounds something like this. From there it moves on to basically the same sort of chords, but we're adding more palm mutes on the 6th string. And for those two chords, they go up to the 8th fret of the 5th string, and then it slides down to the 6th fret of the 5th string. For that there, what I noticed the guitar player in Nightwish does is he goes up to the 6th fret of the 5th string, plays the power chord there, and then with his second finger he'll go to the 8th fret, 5th string, and play a pinch harmonic with his right hand and just vibrato the crap out of it. And then he continues on. The next section is the first half of the verse, that really cool, heavily palm-muted section played in single notes. Sounds something like this, slowed down. All I'm doing there is I'm playing a power chord shape, 3rd fret of the 5th string. For the section where I slide up, I do it with my 3rd finger. This is going to be on the 4th string, and I go up to the 8th fret. And then that repeats. The second half of the verse sounds something like this. It's centered around, again, the 1st fret of the 6th string, the lowest sounding string. So for that part there, the single note section, it's identical to the first half of the verse, but instead of being played with your 1st finger on the 5th string, you're just popping it up a string higher, and you're doing the same thing. And then you're sliding up to the 8th fret with your 3rd finger. And it continues on. Next is the pirate jig part, which is super cool. The chord leading into it is, again, just the root note of the song, 1st fret of the 6th string. You're going to start with your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 8th fret. And it sounds something like this, slowed down. The key to this section for me was to use as many pull-offs as possible. You can definitely pick each note if you're capable and if you want to, but it just doesn't sound like the way that it does on the record. For the second half of that, you're going to slide up with your first finger and play this in the 12th position. So your second finger is going to be on the same string still, 13th fret of the 3rd string. And it's going to sound something like this. And this is where it changes. So we're going to play a short scale. So all I did there, starting on the 12th fret, you're going to play 1, 2, 4. You're going to truncate and then place your first finger on the 13th fret of the 2nd string. And then it goes on. And then you can add some vibrato to that note there to taste. Then that repeats, and then the very ending of that changes the second time around. At that point, the pirate jig repeats in the first position that we played it in, but it's heavily palm muted this time. And so on and so forth. After this, we get into the pre-solo section. So it starts on the 1st fret of the lowest sounding string, the 6th string. Next we have the solo. So what's happening here is we're going to be tapping 12th fret harmonics with our right hand as we're playing the same note in our left hand on the frets. So that starts on the 2nd string. With your second finger, 2nd string, you're going to go to the 6th fret, and you're just going to pick the note normally. And then you're going to play the 5th fret, or you're going to fret the 5th fret. That's a mouthful. You're going to fret the 5th fret with your first finger on the 2nd string, but instead of picking it with the right hand, you're going to tap 12 notes higher from it. And you're going to try to get that harmonic for this note and the next 2 ones. So I jumped down a string there. It was on the 2nd string, and then we basically place our 2nd finger down to the 3rd string, and then 1st finger frets the 5th fret, 3rd string. And then we do a little bit of we pick the 2 notes a couple extra times. The next part kind of rises up. Most of that is being played on the 2nd string. My bridge is actually blocked off, so I can't do what he does on the record, which is he dive bombs that last note. We get into the quick part of the solo next. Starts on the 3rd fret of the 4th string with our first finger, and it's a scalar passage, and it goes something like this, slowed down. Then we jump up with our 2nd finger to the 2nd string. And continue the pattern down. So again, one more time slow from the top. together. After that, he moves up through the same pattern again, but he slides up to the 10th fret of the 3rd string to kind of end it off. And slowly it sounds something like this. So after he plays that high note, he goes back down to the same position that he was at before, and he basically goes up the scale. So slowly he goes 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Shifts up, plays 1, 2, 4, shift 1, 3, 4. So slowly all together. A little bit faster. Then after we get there, we get to the 3rd finger, which ends on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. And we're going to do a 1 fret bend. We're going to bend the 3rd finger up, bring it back down, and then play the 1st finger note. Then we're going to go to the 3rd string, 6th fret, 5th fret. This next part's fun, very slidey. We go from the 5th fret all the way to the 10th fret, back to the 5th fret. And at the very end of the solo, we have a fast flourish. It's going to look something like this, slowed down. After that flourish, it skips down to the 5th string, 7th fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret. For the very end of the song, what we're going to do is we're going to play that the variation on that verse riff, which is going to be starting on the 4th string, and the last 2 chords of this song are going to be the 6th fret and the 8th fret of the 5th strings. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.